Hey, Brooke here. You meet people, you try, you put yourself out there, and somehow it never seems to work out. It's not that you've never had connections, you have. Moments, almost relationships, people who almost fit. But nothing seems to stick. Nothing turns into that stable, mutual, this is it kind of feeling that you thought you would have by now. And after a while, a quiet question starts to form. Is it me? If you ever felt like you can't find love, it's easy to assume that it's just something simple. Bad luck, timing, or just not meeting the right person yet. But psychologically, it's usually something more complex than that. One of the biggest factors is something called attachment theory, originally developed by John Bowlby and later expanded by Mary Ainsworth. The idea is that the way we connect to others in relationships is shaped early on, and those patterns tend to follow us into adulthood. For some people, closeness feels natural. For others, it feels complicated. You might want connection, but feel uneasy when it actually starts to happen. You might pull away without fully understanding why, or feel drawn to people who are emotionally unavailable. Not because you're choosing wrong on purpose, but because your brain is used to a specific emotional pattern. And that familiarity can feel like right, even though it probably isn't. There's also something called self-verification theory. Studied by William Swan, it suggests that people are drawn to experiences that confirm what they already believe about themselves. So deep down, if you feel like you're hard to love or not enough, your brain may unconsciously gravitate towards situations that reinforce that belief. Not because you want to be hurt, but because your brain prefers consistency over uncertainty. There's also a cognitive layer to this, especially if you're someone who overthinks things or is super aware. You're not just in the relationship, you're analyzing it. Do I actually like them? Do they like me? Is this the one? And while that awareness can be insightful, it can interrupt emotional flow. Instead of letting feelings develop naturally, you're constantly evaluating them in real time, which makes something that's already uncertain feel even less stable, which ties into something that builds over time. Each experience that doesn't work out doesn't just disappear. It adds to your expectation, your awareness, your caution, which can make it harder for something to unfold naturally, because love usually requires some vulnerability, which is where self-confidence can quietly come into play. Self-confidence isn't always as solid as it looks. You can be confident in most areas of your life and still feel uncertain in relationships, because relationships involve vulnerability, and vulnerability introduces risk. So you end up in this push and pull. Part of you wants to show up fully, and another part of you is quietly trying to protect you. But here's the part that matters. Not finding love doesn't mean that you're incapable of it. It usually just means that these factors are all interacting in a way that makes it harder to find something that feels both safe and right. And that's not a permanent state. It's a pattern, and patterns can change, especially when you start noticing them not as flaws, but as adaptations. Because the same awareness that makes things feel complicated is also what allows you to understand them and eventually choose differently. Liked what your weird brain just learned? Hit subscribe. If not, that's okay. I'll just be over here wondering if it was me.